Okay guys, you're gonna love this bluebonnet scene. So as you guessed, grab some blues. Even if you just have one, you can mess with that color by mixing in different shades of blue. I'm one a little darker, so I'm gonna mix in a Payne's gray to get like an indigo look, and then a variety of green. Hey watercolor artists, go ahead and fill your palette with a variety of blues. I have cerulean, ultramarine, a little darker. I'm going to mix a Payne's gray in. I put a dot of a pink so we can add some purple in there just a little bit. And let's go ahead and just sketch real simply we're going to make two stalks of bluebonnets, one smaller and one larger. And I just had one going off to the left and one going off to the right. And then their leaf configurations are like little stars, which is kind of fun. So let's make one larger of those and one smaller in sort of a 5-petal shape. They have a little bit more rounded edge than I did here, but these look cute enough. It is bluebonnet season, a couple weeks. We are going to be swimming in them here in Texas. Okay, so fun and so easy this is. I have a number 6 brush and I'm working on a 5x7 size on a block. I have bow hung paper. I also like to use arche, but cotton paper is going to be your best friend when you're doing this. So right now I'm just watering down my blue, ultramarine blue, a standard blue, and I'm making a C shape and leaving some white in the middle. I'm doing wet on dry. And I'm making sure that I'm leaving some space and not going too heavy on this first pass through. So they're kind of a cone shape. So I'm going for that, a little larger at the bottom and going up to the top in a little bit more pointed. And then I grabbed cerulean. I'm just wanting to vary the blues as we go around. So let's have some of our little flower petals facing horizontally and some vertically. So just vary it up. I'm using the tip of my brush, maybe a little wiggling around. We just want it to look really organic. So pretty. Fields of these. Gorgeous. So many photo ops in the spring. And then we can make a few that are just solid. Don't leave the white space in the middle. We're really just giving a variety. And then some of them, while they're still wet, we can dab in a little bit to the edge. We're going to do that in a second. So I don't have a super dripping wet brush when I'm dipping in my paints, but wet enough for it to move around. I've heard it used from water to tea to butter consistency. So it's thinner, thinnest, and then on the other end is as thick as you can get watercolor paint, and that would be like butter, like straight out of the pan. Okay, let's do our second one. And for these, we're going to keep them all smaller because it's a smaller little version of a bigger one unfolded. Little Texas history for you. The bluebonnet is the Texas state flower, and they couldn't decide which of the varieties was most beautiful to make. So they deemed them all, I think it was in the 70s, they re-voted and named all the bluebonnet varieties are the state flower of Texas. It could have also been the prickly pear or the cotton boll, B-O-L-L. I'm really glad they went with the bluebonnet. Okay, let's do a couple of just little buds sort of closed up towards the top of this smaller one. We're not making a lot of bigger petals on this one. Just keep going back to your blues and picking new shades. And just little tiny dabs around the edges. We'll make a couple really light ones here and there on the edges to really give that sort of, there's another layer back there. We've already established some lights, mediums, and darks just in this first pass. Okay, let's get a little bit of green. Whatever green you have is fine. And then into that, I want you to put a little bit of yellow next to it. And then I want you to have that pile that we're going to dip kind of into both because at the very end, as these come open, they have a greenish, a lime green sort of tip from where they unfold. So we're just going to dab in little tiny, in a cone shape also, sort of go left and right of that stem, sort of a V shape. We're just dabbing. And then cool, if it touches some of the blue, maybe touch a little bit at the bottom. See, I like how that's coming up. So you can touch a little bit into your semi-wet blue that was there at the top. There's a town, Burnett, I think, Texas, that has they go wild for bluebonnets. It's like a whole bluebonnet festival. They have like a whole bluebonnet season. Amazing. Okay, let's take our star shape and sort of flesh that out a little bit. So I'm leaving a little bit of white in the center. And I'm going around just the shape. You can even round out the edge of these a little bit more because they are actually a little rounder. And then I'm just leaving that center part and then using the tip of my brush to make this stems. So guys, just put it on the very tip. Don't worry about it. We're going to just find some places where there's some openings in there and then put the stem in. We have the tips of the brush. It makes these brushes so versatile. You just want the ratio of water to paint to be kind of inky. And then we can make another little star shape over here. I'm really doing nothing fancy with these guys, just putting them in. The bluebonnets are really the star of the show, the flowers in this one. And it really has 5. So if you want to put another one, that's fine too. We can do some going sideways. I like to add, just to add to the composition, some little foliage coming up and around. So go ahead and make a few of those little wispy marks. You can keep your pinky down on the paper and drag it through, help it stabilize your brush for you too. And then let's go, while this is still somewhat damp, put in a little bit of green, darker at the base. They actually, if you see one in nature, they're actually almost kind of folded up like little canoes almost, so they have depth to them. So maybe showing down the middle that they're a little bit deeper in the middle. And then dab here and there just a little darker green to vary the little foliage that we put. Just here and there. Just give a lot of variety. Hopefully you like how you're just coming. It's really, spring is right around the corner. We're so excited. It hasn't been, for us, I speak for us, it hasn't been a crazy harsh winter, but I know lots of parts of the world it was hard this winter. But I am still ready for spring. It's the daylight savings. I need it. I need sun. Okay, if you want, you can dab in some little more yellow. If there are some places that needed it, you thought, you want to warm up that part. And then I'm getting just now ready to do a little bit more in some of the areas of just your blues that you've used before. So I'm dabbing just at kind of the bases of these petals. I'm dabbing in right now a little cerulean. And I'm going to try, to pick the flowers where I use that, the individual petals where I use that color. But it's fine if we vary it too. So we can put whatever variety of blues you have, you can tap them into different ones too. It's going to make it look really interesting. And I have fairly wet brush, not super crazy dripping. This isn't really a wet on wet. This is because our area underneath is kind of semi-dry. We did wet on dry first. We are able to introduce a little mixing still though, by doing a watery mix on top. This would be really cool. This flower would be cool to do fully wet on wet and loose also. I'm going to try that. We should experiment with that. And just in that way, we would just outline all the petals in water. All the shapes that we just did, we would just do it in water. And then we would just go in and tap, just go crazy, tapping blues, tapping cerulean, tapping a little purple, and just see how it all mixes naturally. And we can control that a little bit. We could tap some in. If we wanted to do this wet on wet, we could tap some in. It's called charging, and have it go like towards the center by the stem, just like I'm doing now. But it would be all wet, and it would be just doing it sort of wild, more organically even than this. That's the beauty of watercolor. You guys have got to experiment more with wet on wet if you haven't. I'm in love with it. I like this too. I like all the things you can do with watercolor. Out of all the arts I've ever tried in my life, watercolor has hooked me the most. Love it. There's something about it. It teaches you. It literally teaches you to let go of control. Lose some of your perfectionist tendencies if you have them. Just relax. Watch water. Watch it move. I mean, it's like being in nature. Even if you're not painting a nature scene, watercolor makes you feel like you are. Just relaxing in nature and water. It's the best. Have I sold you? If you're already here painting, you're already sold on watercolor. Okay, I have some cerulean. I really like that. You guys, like I said, whatever blues you have, you can mix. You could even put a little green into your blue to make a bluish green. You can make a variety. Even if you have 3 colors. A lot of people use a limited palette of 3 to 6 colors. Primaries, you can mix a lot of things. You don't have to have a bunch of colors on your palette. If you are a beginner, I do recommend trying to get the best quality things that you can afford. I would say in order of importance, that is paper, then paints, and then brushes you can work up to. A lot of brushes will still work for you, even if they're not expensive, but the paper, and even so in some cases the paint, it really does better for you if you have the quality supplies. Okay, I like how some of this blending is happening. We can put a couple of little almost C strokes, little kind of commas up towards the top because they kind of unfold that way in blue. So I'm just putting a little last few little C strokes here, unfolding them in blue. So that rounds it out. And then let's dab in here and there where you have some water still active. I'm putting a little quinacridone rose, just to mix that in and have it give a little more purpley lilac hue. There are different hues to bluebonnets. Some have more of a purple hue, some have more blue. Ours have all. Ours have every color, every blue shade right now. Aren't they beautiful though? Really beautiful. I highly recommend putting on some great music. I don't put it on in the background while I'm doing tutorials, but you should have some of your favorite, just relaxing jazz, whatever it is. Lo-fi. This is not the time for your hardcore rap, but whatever you've got that relaxes you. Maybe it is. Maybe that is your go-to relaxer. Okay, I'm putting a little layer just lightly. This is called glazing. I did a huge video on why we do it, and I attempted to do a Vermeer, but just putting a thin layer over the top of a somewhat dry or dried underlayer. Okay, so we're just getting that over, just warming that up a little bit, and then I'm gonna just put a little bit of a yellow line following the flow of the green that we already had, just to give a little shadowing there. Little yellow interest there. And now let's build up the bottom of, just use a little bit of green and just build a little bit up of the bottom of that blueberry that attaches to the stem. Just give it a little more substance, have it somewhere to anchor it onto. And maybe just deepen a little bit of those, the inside area where you'd see that stem. And guys, this is it. It is beautiful. I hope you love it. We're going to add one more quick fun thing. Okay guys, to finish it out, just get a ruler, something straight edge, and a blue pen, anything you have. Go around the edge of this and leave a space at the bottom and just go ahead and handwrite in bluebonnets. You can print, cursive, whatever. You could do fancy if you know how to hand letter. So cute, nice hand touch.